Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Blissed? Dr. Shealy, are you blissed?
Yes.
And have you been flying this week, or are you on the ground?
I was away in Albuquerque last weekend for the Tesla conference, but it went smoothly.
You know, that's something that sounds fascinating. Can you share with us a little bit about what that Tesla conference was about and what you learned?
Well, it is about energy in the broadest sense of the word. As most people who know anything about Tesla know that theoretically, he could have freed us from light wires all over the country if Edison had not intervened. And, of course, Edison and the evil empire squelched Tesla's work. But this is about new uses of and tools for using various subtle energy techniques primarily. Now, I spoke about the physics and biochemistry of longevity, but most of the talks had much more to do directly with different types of energy. And, of course, it brought up one of the most difficult things that I have had to understand in the world, quote, scalar energy. I have tried for years to find what on earth does scalar really mean. And I want to read you something from Claude Swanson, a physicist who gave me the first time a definition I can put my teeth in. Some people mean just the fourth component of the A vector, which is just conventional E and M. The only real scalar stuff, I now believe, is that it is a combination of left-handed and right-handed torsion wave, phyton. This will be a wave with infinite propagation speed. I don't know any source that lays it out clearly like that. In this case, then, Shipoff's torsion stuff is the best, but still not much detail about radiation. And, I mean, I can really follow that. No other person, including anybody at this meeting in Albuquerque, explained to me what a scalar really is supposed to be. At least this is in standard physics terms instead of something obtuse. On the other hand, there were claims that using, quote, scalar technology, and that was never defined, they are doing such things as improving the release of your own stem cells to heal everything in the world. I was intrigued enough that in 2 weeks, I'm going down to Lexington, Kentucky, where they have such a device, and give it my own personal 8-hour test.
Well, you know, as you were reading that, it sounds very difficult for many of us to understand, and I'm looking at a definition of what is scalar energy on the internet, and it says, according to the principle of conservation of energy, energy is perpetual but can be transformed. During the process of transformation, part of the energy will be converted into heat in order to maintain its balanced condition. The resultant heat must then be dispersed through a process such as emission or radiation, and a portion of it is converted into energy. And that's what it says. And then it goes on to say, the human body is made up of up to 60 trillion cells, a basic phenomenon of life. Human behavior and activity requires energy. The major source of energy is derived from the energy produced through the activity of ATP in cellular water. Bodily cell regeneration can promote metabolism, which is beneficial to ATP functions. During the process of energy production and nutrient assimilation, toxic waste substances are produced. The unwanted toxic waste will in turn be eliminated via the process of respiration, perspiration, and excretion through the body's organ systems. Therefore, the breath of healthy people is fresh, and they have clean and clear urine and non-odorous soft stool. And that's what it says about scalar energy.
That went further than most of the definition, but at least it is some subtle derivation from what we know about energy in general. And of course, Tesla did deal with these very subtle uses of energy.
Dr. Shealy, we have Catherine in Illinois. Welcome.
Hi.
Good morning.
Hey, Catherine.
What's up?
I got a couple of things. I've been developing quite a lot of anxiety since I developed a prolapsed bladder, and I'm going for physical therapy, but I wonder if you have any ideas of how I can resolve this.
Have they taught you Kegel exercises?
Yes.
Good. Now, here's my biggest thought. Not only to do Kegel exercises, but to lie down on your back on a firm surface and raise your buttocks up as high as you comfortably can.
Okay.
And then do your Kegel exercises in that position, because then the gravity will assist in the working of the Kegel exercises. Now, most people...
So it's like a bridge?
Right.
Okay.
Most people, recommend building up to 100 Kegel exercises. I recommend, now obviously you don't do this in the first day.
No.
Maybe over a week to two, you build up to a minimum of 1,000 Kegel exercises a day.
And what about the anxiety? Is there anything I can do in the meantime?
Number 1, 2, and 3, Air Bliss.
Okay. I have
Put it on twice a day.
Okay. And is that okay to take if you're on Zoloft?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I just started taking that, so it's not really fully effective yet.
You mean the Zoloft?
Yes.
Or the Air Bliss? Yeah, the Air Bliss is better for this than Zoloft, in my opinion, for most people.
Yeah. It's really sad. I saw you in May in Chicago, and then about 3 weeks later, I was really very empowered by buying these products and stuff, and then I had this accident, so it's kind of thrown me for a loop.
Also, are you on magnesium lotion?
No.
Okay, magnesium lotion is terrific to help reduce anxiety.
Okay, I'll get that.
And taurine, the amino acid, Taurine.
Oh, taurine.
Yeah, 1,000 milligrams of that 3 times a day.
Okay, and then what do you think about surgery for this? It's really, I've read a lot, and I feel that's what's making me anxious. Like, I don't know if I can control this with the physical therapy. Because
well, I would give the program a month.
Okay.
And just try to detach from the anxiety about it. Give it a full month with the intention, okay, I've done what I can. If I have to have surgery, I will, but I'm just going to do the best I can for the next month.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Hey, thanks for calling.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you for calling. Okay. Dr. Shealy, can you tell us what is meant by a prolapsed bladder so the class who hasn't heard that term will understand it?
Yes. It means that the bladder itself is actually coming out partially, just, maybe a centimeter or less. out of the urethra, the opening into the bladder. In other words, in a woman, this is different from a man. Man could not prolapse the bladder through the penis. You could prolapse. A man could prolapse the rectum, and that could come out the anus. But in this case, it's a small bit of the bladder itself coming out through the urethra, the opening through which one urinates.
When one does these exercises, as you've discussed, what is the potential for healing? Is it? Oh,
it's actually pretty good. All men should do Kegel exercises just to massage and increase the blood flow to the prostate. So the Kegel exercise is using all your muscle power as if to stop yourself from urinating or emptying your rectum. I mean, it's hard to control one group without the other. They tend to go together when you do it voluntarily. But you just squeeze those muscles as strong as you can. And you take a deep breath, and as you breathe out, you close those muscles, and you just hold it as long as you can, and then you start over again.
Okay. And how many times should a person do that a day, and how many times a day?
Well, I, for years, have done 1,000 a day during my morning exercise. I mean, I couple it with a lot of my regular limbering exercise, so that every breath I take, while I'm doing some other stretching or whatever, I also do the Kegel exercise. And I think for all men after the age of 50 especially, they should do them, at least 500 times a day. It helps keep the prostate healthier.
I can just hear a whole bunch of guys saying, "Uh-oh, I haven't done my 500 for the last 10 years."
Yeah. Well, don't try to catch up at one time.
Okay, and do you have, I'm looking right now, okay, do you have information about the Kegel exercise on your website, Dr. Norm Shealy?
I do not.
Okay, because I looked and I didn't find it.
I'll pass it. I'll pass it to you.
Okay, and then I'll post the link that Dr. Shealy sends me on the website at usaprepares.com. Class, we're discussing health and medicine. Dr. Norm Shealy, medical doctor, surgeon of the year, author of over 30 books, broadcaster, farmer, Native American medicine man, PhD times 3, right here, right now, and we'll be right back. NormShealy.com. Class, Dr. Norman Shealy is with us, medical doctor, and if you'd like to be on the air with Dr. Norman Shealy and ask him your medical questions, we'll pay for the call. 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. Miguel in South Carolina, welcome. You're on the air with Dr. Norman Shealy.
Oh, hi, Vincent. Hi, Dr. Shealy. How are you today?
Terrific. How about you?
I am blessed. I have a question. Maybe you can give me an idea and help me out on this. My wife, she's been suffering from thyroid disorder for a long time. She's been taking, Synthroid first, but then Synthroid didn't work too good. And then we switched to Armor. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Oh, yeah.
It's a natural thyroid, I guess, help, whatever you call it.
Oh, yeah. It is natural thyroid. I've recommended that instead of Synthroid for the last 40-plus years.
It's been changing a lot because they bought it out. I think it's a new company, and it's very hard to get it sometimes. And the formula somehow has been changed a little bit. I don't know what's going on. But do you have any other thyroid supplement that she can maybe take that she can maybe eliminate the Armor and switch to something natural still?
Okay. Start with this. Iodoral. Iodoral.
Okay.
1 tablet or capsule.
Okay.
Every week add another one. In other words, say you started today, it's Wednesday this week. Next week you do Wednesday and Thursday until in 7 weeks she's on one every day.
Okay.
Secondly, get Fire Bliss, the bliss oil that stimulates the ring of fire.
Okay.
Use that twice a day for the first week and then once a day.
Okay.
Now, it will take about 3 months. So stay on this for a minimum of 2 months.
Okay.
And then cut the thyroid she's taking in half for the first week. Cut it another half in the second week. And then stop it. And watch her oral temperature.
Yeah.
Oral temperature when she's been out of bed, a minute, in other words, in the morning, out of bed, a minimum of 2 hours, should be 98.6. If she hasn't drunk anything, of course, within 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay.
And if her temperature stays at 98.6, her thyroid is normal.
Okay. I don't know if maybe the thyroid is the cause of this or is something different, but I don't know if she can. You can recommend something that she can take for. She's kind of depressed. I mean, I assume that maybe it's because the thyroid is not working good, but she's been.
Well,
like
that could be. Now, she's going to be using Fire Bliss, which itself has a 70% chance of reducing her significantly her depression.
Okay.
If after the first couple of weeks her depression is not lifted, then add also Air Bliss once a day.
So do you say the second one is I didn't hear you real well. It says it's a fire. What do you say?
Well, if the fire gets her out of depression, she doesn't need to add the Air Bliss.
Okay. Okay, I got it now. I guess that will be the best. I mean, there is no complex B and stuff like that some people recommend, I guess.
Well, is she on a B complex?
Well, she is, but I mean, it's one of those that they sell locally, and, you know, you never know what's in it.
Right,
really.
okay. If you're going to be ordering the Fire Bliss anyway, order Dr. Shealy's Essentials. That's the best multivitamin that I know.
Okay. I really appreciate your help.
Miguel, can you hold on through the break? I want to make sure that you fully understand Dr. Shealy's recommendation and the timing. Can you hold on for another couple of minutes?
Sure.
Okay, very good. Miguel's holding on, and Sherry in Indiana will be with you in just a minute. Class Dr. Norman Shealy's with us, and Miguel in South Carolina has stayed on through the break. And Miguel, your question was about thyroid, and Dr. Shealy had some recommendations, and I wanted to make sure that you had a chance to jot them down and make sure that you could follow his instructions. Have you been writing them down, Miguel?
Yes, I was writing down while he was speaking, which is a little hard to keep it up, but I think he told me that on the first will be to get her on Idorol, 1 tablet every week, and then he says to go on the fire product.
Stop right there, please. Miguel, stop right there.
The first week, and add a tablet every week until she's getting one every day.
Oh, okay. I got it wrong then. Okay, so the first week 1 tablet, and then add it until she gets on 1 every day. And
right.
How about on the fire? You told me twice a day for the first week, and then once a day after that. Is that right?
That is correct. On the ring of fire, yes, the Fire Bliss, yes.
Okay. And Miguel, that is available on Dr. Shealy's website, and that is normshealy.com, NORMSHEALY.com, and it's called Fire Bliss, BLISS.
Okay. Yeah, you told me that it will take about 4 months before we can try to take her out of the...
Well, after the third month, cut the thyroid medication in half.
That's right.
And then every week cut it out. Well, the next week cut it another half, and the next week cut it out.
Okay, yeah.
And then check her temperature.
Yeah, you say it should be 98.6
orally when she's been out of bed a minimum of 2 hours.
Okay, and then if she stay on that 98.6, her thyroid is working properly. And
exactly.
Okay, yeah, I got it now. And Vincent, thank you so much for your help. I mean, you means a lot to me. And thank you, Dr. Shealy, for everything. And may the Lord bless you. And
the same to you and your wife. Thanks for calling.
Same. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Miguel. Very kind man. Miguel has talked to me off the air about some, preparedness questions, and Dr. Shealy, the reason I wanted to do that was to make sure he fully understood what your directions were. Yeah. Okay, and now we've got Sherry in Iowa. Sherry, welcome. Is it Sherry?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Great. Welcome. You're on with Dr. Norm Shealy.
Okay, I have a couple of things I'd like to discuss if we have time. The first thing is myself. I've been having some, occasional blood when I wipe after a bowel movement, after I wipe. And it seems like it's not all the time. Like the other evening, I had a lot of dark blood, but then when I had my bowel movement, it was light colored. It was not dark at all. And about 3 weeks ago, I had that, and I get a pain in the upper left quadrant, right around the ribs, under the ribs. And I had a colonoscopy done about 6 months ago, and that was normal. I just had a tortuous colon, or I guess what would be considered a colon that's twisted, maybe. Tortuous colon, I think is what he calls it.
Uh-huh.
When I had the colonoscopy, it took me out of the sedation enough that I would, because it hurts so much when he was twisting and trying to get through there in that particular area on that upper left quadrant.
Upper left quadrant, of course, could be kidney or it could be spleen. I presume that you've had a good physical exam that has checked that.
I have a physical schedule in a couple of months here, but
the anal blood sounds like a hemorrhoid. Of course, they can either be painful if they get a clot in them, or just bleed, which is somewhat more common than having a clot in them. After you've wiped yourself clean, get yourself a bottle of emu oil, EMU, the big bird. Put, about a half a teaspoon on the toilet paper and rub that gently over your anus, and then wipe it off with another piece of toilet paper. But emu oil is certainly one of the best healing things for the local hemorrhoid problem.
Okay, and that's EMU oil?
Yes.
Yeah,
and Dr. Shealy, where would she get emu oil? Would that be at any pharmacy or the Chinese factory outlet?
You won't find it at most pharmacists. You may find it at a health food store. Otherwise, you can get it off our website.
Okay, and that's normshealy.com.
Okay, and then the pain, what you said, it could be kidney or spleen if it's upper left.
Yeah, that needs a physical exam where a physician very carefully palpates your whole abdomen, but especially checking that upper abdomen. Looking for any problem, enlargement or otherwise, of the spleen or of the kidney, because both of those, are in that upper quadrant area.
I had seen a chiropractor recently, and he thought possibly I picked up some kind of bacteria from the colonoscopy.
Well, that is possible. We do know that can happen. The other thing you could do until you get your physical exam is a castor oil pack, a especially over that left upper abdomen. A piece of cloth soaked in castor oil, covering your whole left upper abdomen, piece of plastic over it, and a heating pad for an hour every day. That is really good for all kinds of intestinal problems.
Okay.
Dr. Shealy, how does that work? Putting castor oil on a patch and then covering it with plastic, I guess, so that it doesn't leak through the patch and onto your clothing.
Right. Well,
so
castor oil,
how does that work?
interestingly, does go through the skin somewhat and helps clean out the lymph system.
Okay. And I had a question about the hemorrhoids that you're talking about. Is there a relationship between diet, fiber in the diet, or lack of fiber in the diet and hemorrhoids, Dr. Shealy?
Oh, yes. If you're not having a minimum of one soft, not liquid, but soft, easily passed bowel movement a day, you're not getting enough fiber and water. So I would say the best fiber is probably grapefruit pectin. You can buy a powder of grapefruit pectin off the internet or off at a health food store, and a tablespoon of that. Now, the other thing, of course, is not so much fiber, but, of course, food-grade diatomaceous earth is also one of the best things for the health of the colon.
And what was that?
Diatomaceous earth.
How do you spell that one?
Diatomaceous. Now, I personally have never gone above a teaspoon. My intestines don't need more than that. Some people take a tablespoon. But,
and that's an herb, you said?
I'm sorry?
Is that an herb? Is that what you said?
Earth. No, diatomaceous earth is...
earth. Oh, earth, okay.
Earth, EARTH, yes.
It's finely ground, milled silica shells of ancient microscopic freshwater plants called diatoms. And I've got a website for you. We've had the CEO of earthworkshealth.com on our broadcast. And if you go to Earthworks Health, EARTHWORKS health.com, it'll take you to that'll take you to the website. And I'm looking for the information about DE, and I'll tell you about what it costs. It's very, very inexpensive. Okay, a 2.5 pound gallon jug, a gallon jug of it weighs 2.5 pounds. It's $11.50. Earthworks Health, earthworkshealth.com. And if you mention, excuse me, if you mention Dr. Shealy and Vincent Finelli, when you call in, you'll probably talk to a guy named Andrew. He's quite knowledgeable, and he'll help you. And Dr. Shealy did a study of with almost 20 people. We provided the Earthworks Health diatomaceous earth for the study. And Dr. Shealy, do you want to just briefly mention what the results of that study were?
Well, the interesting thing, to me, the most interesting thing with that is there is some increase in energy, but more importantly, it makes your hair grow faster and better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I find that still, even after a year of it, quite fascinating. My hair grows, I would say, almost 50% faster than before. Certainly over a third faster.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely true. Sherry, is there anything else that we can help you with? So Dr. Shealy's talking about making sure you have plenty of fiber. Oh, I had a question, Dr. Shealy. I've heard over the years prune juice. If you have trouble with bowel movements. Is that still something that is
No,
is
there's no
recommended?
question about that. My gut, again, I have a gut that works beautifully, but it can't be overstimulated. And I can eat plums pretty well, but prunes, I can't go more than 1 or 2 prunes a day. I mean, it's excessive for my gut.
Okay. Sherry, any other questions for Dr. Shealy?
Yeah, real quick. I have a granddaughter
we're going into a break. Hold that thought. We'll hold you to the other side of the break. Class Dr. Norman Shealy's with us, and Sherry in Iowa is with us. I just got off the phone, class, with Andrew from earthworkshealth.com, and let me give you his phone number if you'd like to find out a little bit more about the diatomaceous earth. 402-371-6111. 402-371-6111. And that's earthworkshealth.com. Cost $11.50 for a gallon jug of food-grade diatomaceous earth. And we keep that on our counter, and we use it, and we give it to our animals for their health as well. Sherry, you had another question about a family member?
Yes, I have a granddaughter that's got a lot of urinary urgency, and when she goes and she gets there, a lot of times she doesn't have to go, but she just feels the pressure to go, and when there's nothing there most of the time. She has no infections. She's had that all checked out, and it's this constant urgency, and then she doesn't go. Very little, if at all.
How old is she?
18.
Okay, here's what I would... what are her periods like?
They're regular.
Okay, no problem there. I would start with cranberry concentrate, cranberry capsules, 2-3 times a day. If that doesn't make a big difference within a week, go to the internet, and you have to get this off the internet. Doctors, DOCTORS, best bladder support. The capsule. Take 1 twice a day.
Okay, so cranberry pills, first of all.
They're capsules usually, yeah.
Capsules, okay. Is there any strength on those? Or is it just...
You can find them at the health food store or on my website.
Okay.
Or you can go to normshealy.com. That's Dr. Shealy's website. Norm Shealy, NORMSHEALY.com.
Okay.
Dr. Shealy, are you recommending cranberry capsules instead of cranberry juice because of the added sugar in cranberry juice?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the capsules work really well.
Okay. There's something, I can't think of it. It's D hyphen, and I think it starts with an M.
Mannose, MANNOSE. Now, theoretically, you said she's been checked and did not find an infection.
Right.
D mannose, the average, 95% of all urine infections are E. coli. And if there is an E. coli that's irritating her, D mannose works extremely well, a teaspoon twice a day, because the E. coli happens to love the mannose molecule, and it hooks onto that instead of the bladder wall. But I didn't recommend that only because you said she'd been checked and had no infection.
Right. That's what the doctor said. There's no sign of any, abnormalities in her lab work or in her urine. Her thyroid is what they first thought it was, and her thyroid studies came back normal. Well,
Dr.
I tried the cranberry and the doctor's best bladder support first.
Dr. Shealy, is D-mannose something that most of us preparedness-minded people should have in our cabinet anyway?
Oh, yeah, I'd keep a bottle of D-mannose handy, because if you ever get if you really believe you've got a urinary infection, I'd start that instantly, because it's very safe. You don't actually metabolize it. So it is, it's totally safe to your whole body. It's excreted into the urine, and that's where the bacteria can hop on and move out.
Sherry, did you have anything else that you needed to ask Dr. Shealy?
No, I've appreciated everything you have helped me with, so that's great.
Thanks
Wonderful.
for calling.
Thank you for calling, Sherry. Okay, Dr. Shealy and I will be right back after top of the hour news and commercial announcements. We'd like to talk about how to lose weight the safe way, the low-cost way without surgery or meds, loss of energy, we all seem to have it, and blood clot. Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. Dr. Norman Shealy's with us. His website, normshealy.com. NORMSHEALY.com. And if you'd like to talk with Dr. Norman Shealy during the next hour, 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. Dr. Shealy's with us every Wednesday and has been for years. Dr. Shealy, we have Miguel in South Carolina calling us back. Miguel, you have another question for Dr. Shealy?
Yes, Dr. Shealy, sorry to bother you so much, but I was carried out with my wife problem that I forgot. My brother, his wife, she lost her mother about a couple of years ago. They were very close, and she's also handling 2 jobs, and we don't know if that's part of the problem, but she's been losing a lot of hair, and my brother, he's concerned about that, and he asked me to, if I could ask you if there is anything natural that he can do for her that maybe she can take.
Well, at the top of my list is to check her oral temperature.
Okay.
If her oral temperature, when she's been out of bed 2 or more hours, is below 98.6, she is hypothyroid.
Okay.
That test is infinitely better than the blood test.
Okay.
So
do it every morning for how long?
Well, do it 2 or 3 times during the day. Do it about 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning and midday and late afternoon, because it should be consistently 98.6.
Okay.
If it is below 98.6, then she is hypothyroid, and she needs to work on trying to get it. I would start with the Fire Bliss and the iodine, the way I did for your wife.
Okay.
If her temperature is consistently normal, then she needs a complete hormonal evaluation.
Okay. Okay. So that's what you would recommend. I guess the hormone evaluation, he has to go to a doctor.
Yes. And, there is a place called Any Lab Test Now. In every state in the union now, you can actually order your own blood test without a prescription.
With a hair sample?
Well, no. You can do blood test, hair. And in this case, you would want, the best test would be what's called a complete metabolic or endocrine evaluation. And the best lab in the country to do that is Meridian, MERIDIAN, Meridian Valley Lab in Washington State. But Any Lab Test Now can send it there for you. Okay.
Okay, let's do that then, because he's been concerned about that. And I thank you so much for your help and your time. And Vince, thank you so much for what you do for us.
It's our pleasure. And, Miguel, I just want to tell you that Tom, our engineer, said to me during the top of the hour news break, he said, how do you feel about repeat callers? And I said, we are here to provide information, and if someone calls in and then they call in again, we're here to help, and we are here to provide that information. So I don't want our class to think that this is rapid fire, next. That's not what we do. We're here to help, and we want to make sure that you get the information that you need so that you can be as healthy as possible, during the Wednesday broadcast. So we welcome your calls, and we do not want to rush through them. We want to make sure that when you write down your recommendations as recommended by Dr. Norman Shealy, that you get them down accurately so that you can follow them. And that's the plan. Yeah. So, Miguel, I want to thank you, and I know you and I have talked off the air about other things, and I appreciate you being in class today. I really do, and every day.
Thank you so much for your help.
Thank you, Miguel. Dr. Shealy, losing weight, there are so many of us who would love to lose weight. And all you have to do is go shopping, and you see people that are leaning on their carts to take some of the weight off their legs. You see people riding around in those scooters at the Chinese factory outlet. Is there a simple way, a low-cost way of losing weight without gastric bypass surgery, without medical medications, without drugs? Is there a simple way to lose weight that's safe that you can recommend for our class?
Yes, cut out all carbohydrate. It's that simple. Eat all the protein, meats, fish, every flesh food you can imagine, all the non-starchy vegetables that you want, and no carbohydrate. That means even no fruits. And, obviously, do increase movement, even if it's just standing in place and bouncing.
For those of us who have a friend, a spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, just walking, right? Dr. Shealy, just going for a walk together.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All movement is good.
There you go. So you can do it without that surgery, without the expense, and just take out the carbohydrates. Now, Dr. Shealy, I was reading an article today and had a lot of trouble getting to the article, but let me see if I can find it here. This is from economicpolicyjournal.com, and I had a tough time finding a website that would bring this up because a lot of them I get error messages. But here's what happened. There was a post a link on the Drudge Report that said the United Nations wants to tax meat until it's too expensive to eat. And let me read this. It's Wednesday, August 3rd, 2016, economicpolicyjournal.com. And it says the title is New UN Report, Tax Meat Until It's Too Expensive to Eat. Here it is. They're positively mad. Meat should be taxed at the wholesale level to raise the price and deter consumption, says a new report from the UN's International Research Panel. So they're saying,
the time has come to tell the UN to go to hell, and I'm being as kind as I can on the air. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think the UN is as evil as the evil empire that runs it.
Mm-hmm. And as a farmer, Dr. Shealy, you raise cows, and so do I. We each raise them on our farms. And I'd like to share with our class that if we did not have cows eating the grass, what would happen is the grass would turn into weeds, saplings would just automatically appear, and the grass that we have would turn into woods.
Yeah.
That's what would happen.
Yeah, it would make a little oxygen but not be otherwise useful.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, if you if you wanted to just mow that grass, I would say that if we did not have cows on our farm, and I'm speaking literally here, I'm not exaggerating. If we had no cows on our farm and I wanted to keep the fields grass, I could start on Monday morning and I could mow Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then on Monday, I could start on the first field again and mow it again. And that's all I would do. is just mow the fields, just to keep them in grass. But I don't have to do that because the cows do it for us.
And produce the best quality protein. Well, fish are equally good, but some of the best quality protein in the world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so when you hear these things about cows are destroying the environment, I think it's absolute nonsense. I really do.
You're being kind.
Dr. Shealy, I don't know anyone, who says, my memory is so much better than it used to be 10 years ago. You might be the exception, Dr. Shealy, but for most of us, we're finding that it's harder to remember things. Do you have a recommendation that will help us in class with improving our memories? Is there something that we need to eat? Is there a supplement we need to take? But I can tell you,
at the top of the list is lecithin granules. Lecithin, Lecithin granules, 2 heaping tablespoons twice a day. That contains the best natural source of choline. And choline becomes acetylcholine, which is the most essential of all the brain chemicals for memory. Now, there are lots of other things, but if you're going to do nothing else, at least take lecithin granules.
Okay. And I have found over the years that if I didn't use my memory, I would lose it. And so one of the things that I've done is if I look at a phone number, I used to have to dial. I'm talking when I was just talking with the cows, many decades ago. But it was harder for me to remember because I didn't use my memory as much. But now what I found is if I look at something, I have taught myself to commit it to memory instantly. So I'll look at a phone number and I'll commit it to memory, and then I will dial from memory rather than look at that piece of paper or look at that screen that has the phone number. I will try my best to remember that phone number. And the more I do it, the more I transfer that image through my eyes into my brain and then use my brain's memory to dial that phone number. The more I do it that way, the easier it is, the more numbers I can remember, the more words I can remember, and so forth. So it seems that reading...
Absolutely. That is critically important.
There you go. So there you have the medical opinion on what I found out through my own observations. Dr. Shealy and I will be right back, and I'd like to talk about blood clots if we can, Dr. Shealy. What are they, and what do we do to treat them? Class, if you'd like to call Dr. Shealy, we've got 35 minutes remaining in this 2-hour broadcast, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. Dr. Shealy, blood clots. What are blood clots, and how can they be treated?
Well, everyone who's ever had a cut knows that, in general, the blood, if you put a drop of the blood that's coming out of wherever in your body, it will clot within 5 minutes or less. Now, ideally, under virtually no circumstance will that take place inside your body. So in your body, a clot in the blood can occur either in an artery, which is extremely serious no matter where the artery is, because it could affect whatever organ that artery goes to, or in a vein. And they are more common in veins than in arteries. But if they're in anywhere below your diaphragm, so supposedly, or more or less, in any big significant vein, that blood clot can then break loose from where it is in the leg or pelvis and go up to the lungs. And actually, when that happens, it actually kills a part of the lungs. It's called a pulmonary embolus. And so blood clots inside the body are not desirable. It can occur because of inflammation or infection or cancer. And and it does not happen in healthy people. It is more likely to happen in the veins in the legs or occasionally in the pelvis, and it's more likely to occur in people who have varicose veins. It also is more likely to occur when people sit a lot. It happens, for instance, more common on people who take long plane rides than almost any other place.
Okay, and is there a treatment? Is there some over-the-counter compound that can be taken, or is that dangerous?
Of course, when you get it, you may or may not get a symptom locally. It may cause local pain or it may not. The most important thing is just to keep yourself healthy. Under ordinary circumstances, unless you have a chronic low-grade or other inflammation in the body, you don't need to worry about it. Now, one of the tests that one might want to do as an indication of how healthy you are is something called a high sensitivity C-reactive protein, or CRP. You want that CRP well below the number 1. If it's above 1, you are at risk of all kinds of problems.
I was reading an article, Dr. Shealy, about, it was the New York Daily News, and it says, watching more than 5 hours of television could increase risk of fatal blood clots, according to the study.
That's what I mean by sitting.
Yeah.
Couch potatoes are at great risk of death and every other known illness.
Okay. So they did this 18-year study by analyzing 86,000 men and women between the age of 40 and 79. And it says in this post at the NewYorkDailyNews.com, and I'll put this on the website as well, that the results showed that those who let's see, an ad just came up right on top of it. Those who watched 5 hours or more of television had more risk of fatal blood clots than those who only watched 1 or 2 hours a day. So I guess, it's back to that use it or lose it, right, Dr. Shealy? You've got to stay active. You've got to eat healthy. And I can tell you that losing your health is about as serious as it gets. I don't think losing money or wealth or position compares to losing your health.
Well, of course.
Nothing compares to losing your health. Okay. Dr. Shealy and I'll be right back after these few short commercial announcements. Dr. Shealy, do you have anything that you'd like to share with us, or do you just want me to go down my list?
Let's go on your list.
Okay. Dr. Shealy, medical doctor, and I will be right back. And if you'd like to call us, 866-582-9933. Class, Dr. Norman Shealy is with us, and if you would like to go to his website and get more information, like the things that we're talking about here, or if you'd like to buy his supplements or his books or his bliss oils, normshealy.com, NORMSHEALY.com. And also, if you would like to sign up for his free newsletter, the same one that I get multiple times per week, you can go to the same website, normshealy.com, and sign up for his free newsletter. And that email list is only used by Dr. Shealy. It's not sold, so you won't get all kinds of junk emails. Dr. Shealy, so many people have said that their get up and go has got up and left. It's gone, and they don't have the energy that they used to. They complain of they don't sleep well, they're tired, they just don't have the energy. And I went to the Chinese factory outlet, and I looked with Mrs. Finelli at all of these lotions, potions, and bottles of supplements that they had, and I was interested in learning about what seems to be the items with the most shelf space. And what was it? Sleep aids. I couldn't believe the shelf space devoted to potions, chemicals, jars, tablets, and so forth of of compounds designed to help you sleep better, Dr. Shealy. There must be a tremendous problem in the United States with people who can't sleep.
Oh, yes. I would say, one of my favorite books on that is called The 24-Hour Society. Now, you may or may not know that I am almost fanatic about getting my sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I go to bed at 9 o'clock and get up at 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost fight you if you try to interfere with my sleep.
No, I know that when...
I'm sorry?
When we had events, Dr. Shealy, you'd be out of there by 8 p.m. so that you could be home by 9. I know that. And that's been the case as long as I've known you.
Yes, and it's been the case essentially all my life. And we know that people who sleep less than 7 hours have a short life expectancy, are more likely to die of heart disease, cancer, and diabetes, et cetera, et cetera. So sleep is at least one of the top 5 critical issues for overall health.
Okay, and is there something that you recommend, a natural process? I find that if I think I can't go to sleep, I can simply do the equivalent of counting sheep, and it's just like a fence, and I just envision these animals just very slowly, gliding over the fence, and I count 1, 2. I don't think I can get to 10. I'm out.
Right.
I'm absolutely
and
out.
that is a wonderful technique. Second to that would be so-called autogenic training, something you've heard me speak about many, many, many times.
Sure.
But it's training the brain and ultimately the physiology, electricity, chemistry of the body to be in what I would call balance. Autogenic training is the most studied self-regulation tool in history. There are over 17,000 scientific references.
In class, if you'd like to get more information on the autogenic training, normshealy.com. Next on my list, Dr. Shealy, is avocados. My mom used to buy avocados when I was younger, and I didn't like them, at first. But now I think they're absolutely delicious, and what I will do is buy an avocado or two, and I will cut it in half, and then I'll cut the half in half, so I'll have a quarter of it. And I'll scoop it out with a spoon, cut it with a knife, and make these little squares, if you will, not necessarily squares, but little pieces. Put a little bit of salt on them, and eat an avocado. Would you say that avocados are good for us, or do I just...
No, they're one of the healthiest of all foods.
Okay.
Very low in carbohydrate, very high in excellent fat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is it something that I should eat a quarter of an avocado per day, or once a week, or what do you think, Dr. Shealy? Do you have a thought on consumption?
I'm a big believer that avocados every day of your life are good.
Okay.
The more you can eat, I don't know, up to one a day I think would be healthy.
Mm-hmm. Well, this gives me a medical reason. So when I go to the supermarket and I buy some avocados, it's not me. Dr. Shealy said I have to do this. That's great, Dr. Shealy. And class, a little bit of salt, absolutely excellent. So you might want to consider that. And what I do is I wrap them up once I cut them to keep air from getting to them. And once you cut them, they're not going to last long in the refrigerator. So you'll have to, consume them pretty quickly. Randy in Texas, welcome. You're on with Dr. Norman Shealy.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Doctor, I've got a question. I just want to get a direction of where you think I should go. I am fatigued like 90% of the time. I sleep well. I am in my 50s. I thought I had a sinus infection, and I went to an ENT, and he said, no, I didn't have a sinus infection. About a year ago, I had actual blood work done, and they checked a lot of things, and the one thing that was really low was my testosterone level. It was only about a quarter of what it should be, and the physicians wanted me to start using the testosterone creams, and I'm avoiding doing that, and the ENT said that the symptoms I'm describing to him are classical low testosterone. And
well, that is true. That is true. No question about it. Now, here's my recommendation. At the very top of my list is Kyani Nitro Extreme, NITROXTREME. In your case, I would start with 15 drops, that's one squirt essentially, twice a day.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not feel a remarkable increase in energy within 2 to 3 days, go to 30 drops or 2 squirts twice a day. If in a week your energy is not markedly improved, we want to get it back to normal. So it can be 50% improved, it's still not 100% improved. The next thing I would add is Testojack, TESTOJACK 200. It's an herb.
Okay, that's an herb, okay.
Yeah, and you take 4 a day.
Okay.
And if that doesn't work, then I would add Men's Virility, VIRILITY, 2 a day. All of these are herbal things that can help.
Okay.
And they're safe.
Okay, and that's what I'm looking for. And because see, I was on your website and I saw the first product that you spoke of there. And so, should I take that on an empty stomach, or should I, or does it matter?
Well, I don't think stomach matters. You don't want to have taken any other food or drink within a couple of minutes of it. But other than that, it can be taken anytime.
Okay. Great. Look, I appreciate your help on this. You know, it's just
I would guess that it will take 4 to 12 weeks to optimize your testosterone, but usually what we talked about can certainly help.
Yeah, that's when I met with the ENT. He said that the testosterone creams were going to take 6 months to really work on me, and I still have small children, and so I'm not really interested in, I'm not interested in doing that. And plus, I've really lost faith in most medical physicians today. So,
unfortunately, I agree with you.
Look, I appreciate y'all's help. I'm going to just listen offline. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you so much, Randy. Dr. Shealy, what does a fever indicate? When someone has a fever, what does that mean generally?
Well, it means that you've got either an infection or an inflammation. Either one can cause the fever. And it can be any kind of infection or any kind, anywhere in the body, inflammation. So it's the body trying to deal with something that is potentially very seriously wrong.
Okay. And then in that same line of thinking, I've heard people say if you have a fever, you don't want to reduce the fever, you want to keep the fever, so that's the body's way of dealing with the problem. Do we get under a blanket when we have a fever, or and burn up, or do we cool off?
Let's face it, up to 104 is probably better to wait it out, especially in children. When it gets to 104, the time has come to start, rinsing them with cold water, because the brain can be seriously damaged when it gets to 105 and up. Okay.
And then that leads me to, we talked about inflammation and painkillers. my question about painkillers is, so someone has surgery, and it could be anybody, and the hospital will recommend these painkillers. Now, do those painkillers delay healing because your body doesn't know what's really going on, or the symptoms are masked, or does the pain
in acute pain? Now, acute pain really is the first week. We'll continue afterwards.
Yeah. Okay, we're talking about pain, and do painkillers delay the healing, or do they speed up the healing? And, how does that work? Dr. Norman Shealy is with us, medical doctor. We'll be right back. Dr. Shealy, I know what John Regan feels like when he says, I've got so many things I want to talk about, and we just can't get through them. The list is longer than we have time for. But we've got Kyle in Montana. Kyle, if you just wait 1 second while Dr. Shealy finishes this up. Do painkillers, Dr. Shealy, delay healing, or are they the right way to go?
Painkillers for significant acute pain, that is the first week of pain, can shorten the healing process. Beyond a week or two, no major benefit in healing, and beyond a month, harmful, period.
Okay, there you go, because I had surgery to put my intestines back in, and they had me on narcotics, and I wouldn't stay on them for more than a day and a half, and then I went on like a ibuprofen for a day and a half, and I said, that's it, because I want to know if I'm doing something to myself to really hurt myself, and I won't know if I can't feel it. So do you think I did the right thing, or?
You did the right thing. When I've had major surgeries, and I've had more than my share, as soon as I wake up, I say, I don't want that crap.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Kyle in Montana, welcome. You're on with Dr. Norman Shealy.
Good morning, Vince and Dr. Shealy. I had a question, Dr. Shealy, and a little bit of a devil's advocate here. I just got a question. A lot of those supplements to increase testosterone are beyond a lot of people's, and mine included, financial ability. I was wondering, is there one supplement or something that a person could take that would increase your testosterone level over a period of time, say 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks or something, that would run, somewhere in the $30 to $40 range that would, in your opinion, work real well?
The one that would be best for what you're suggesting is Fire Bliss. Fire Bliss does increase DHEA, or dehydroepiandrosterone, and that increases your testosterone.
Okay. All right, good, because and the other thing I was going to ask real quick, because I know we're out of time, we got the Finelli phenomenon, I think, going on here always in the shows. You never get through everything, and it ain't got nothing to do bad with Vince. It's just that there's always, so much stuff to cover. He's incredible. But anyway, with chronic inflammation, I was talking to my neurologist the other day, and he was saying that their studies showed that if you took up to 800 milligrams of ibuprofen over a long period of time, they showed no significant health detraction from that. And I was wondering your opinion on that.
Well, I think any of these over-the-counter non-steroidal anti-inflammatories are usually safe. On the other hand, long-term use of any one of them can cause a serious problem called mucus colitis, which is diarrhea up to 10 times a day. So whether it's ibuprofen or Aleve or whatever, I don't like their use long-term.
Okay. All right. Excellent show, Vince, as usual. I just wanted to try to get those two things in there. And do you get Fire Bliss and those other things you suggested to the other gentlemen at your website? Can you get them all there?
That is correct.
That's the best place to get them, normshealy.com.
And would you run through that list real quick one more time before we're out of time?
Well, of course, Nitro Extreme is one of the best, but it really helps energy and libido. Beyond that, the sec would be Testojack 200, 4 a day. Beyond that would be men's virility, 2 a day.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you so much. Dr. Shealy, boy, we're just about out of time. We only have a few seconds left. Is pneumonia contagious?
Oh, yes. Many kinds of pneumonia are bacterial or viral.
Okay, so what do? Just make sure we don't, if we have pneumonia, don't cough in the direction of other people and wash our hands?
Yeah, cover your mouth. Just wash your hands a lot. Don't breathe on other people.
There you go. Dr. Shealy, thank you so much for being with us, spending your time dispensing medical advice and opinions. We really appreciate it here at USA Prepares. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you.